NZXT is on a roll releasing accessories and hardware for gamers and streamers. The latest is the new NZXT Signal capture cards. The 4K 30 and the HD60 are nearly identical from the outside, but offer different pass-through and recording capabilities depending on what is needed for the specific streaming or capture application. We got our hands on both cards, so let's take a close look and offer some in-use observations. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Hey everyone, Jordan here with 9 to 5 Toys, and first off, what is a capture card? So the basic benefit of a capture card is to take the image source from something like a console or a mobile device or even a different gaming PC and send the video signal to a monitor with zero lag pass-through as well as a PC to capture the image in a streaming software like OBS or Streamlabs, or even use that in a video chat software like Zoom. Like when you plug in a USB camera, you can select that input source in your video software. That's kind of the same thing that this capture card will do. Sometimes they're internal PCIe cards, but these from NZXT are external and run off of a USB 3.2 Gen 1 connection. Capture cards can also be useful to take the HDMI output of a video camera and use it in stream if the camera doesn't natively work as a USB capable device. So what are the differences between these two cards from NZXT? The Signal capture cards offer two different performance packages at different prices. Both of the names give a good hint of what the cards are capable of. First off, the $140 HD60 is aimed at capturing the max video quality for Twitch, which is 1080p 60, while playing at up to 4K 60 on a compatible monitor with zero lag pass-through. And so here I'll throw up some of the specs. This is what you can expect for pass-through to your monitor when gaming, and then also the capture resolutions from the HD60. So most notable there, of course, is the 4K 60 for pass-through. There are no higher refresh rate options on here, 60 FPS is the max. And then over on the capture resolutions, obviously the 1080p 60 is going to be the best there. So if that's not enough, if you're a competitive FPS player who wants to take advantage of a higher refresh rate monitor, you want to jump up to the $180 NZXT Signal 4K 30. And here again, I'll throw up the different specs for pass-through to the monitor, as well as the capture resolutions. So, most notably here, you can do 4K 60 HDR pass-through to your monitor, but if you have a higher refresh rate monitor, you can bring that down to 1440 and get 144 FPS. And if you want even more, you can take it down to 1080 and get 240 FPS, all of those in HDR for pass-through. Over on the capture side, this can capture 4K 30, so really high resolution signal there coming through. And if you want a higher frame rate on the capture side, you can drop it down to 1440 to get 60 FPS, or drop it down to 1080 to get 120 FPS. So a lot of different options here, a lot more with the 4K 30 over the HD60. Design-wise, they're really simple. It's a small black box. The materials feels really high quality, there's a little bit of weight to it. It doesn't feel like a chintzy plastic piece of hardware. On the back, there is a port for an HDMI out, an HDMI in, and a USB-C port to connect to a PC. Also included in the box are a USB-A to USB-C cable for powering and also transferring data from the capture card to a streaming PC, as well as a single HDMI cable. And out of the box, the NZXT Signal capture cards will work with streaming software like OBS, but there's also some useful information inside the NZXT Cam app. Under the capture card tab, there is info for resolution, FPS, whether or not HDR is enabled, and an audio sample rate. And as I made adjustments to the image from my Xbox Series X, that info was updated in the app to reflect the image that was coming through. So to get it set up in OBS, it's really very simple. Just add a new video capture device in the sources section and choose the NZXT Signal under the devices dropdown. Otherwise, I just left everything in the default configuration. One thing to note here, for capturing footage in OBS, there are two different quality settings, one for streaming and one for recording. So if you're recording and want a better looking quality than on your stream, be sure to increase that here in the settings. There were a couple of small glitches, although it wasn't necessarily the Signal's fault. One issue that I had was with the variable refresh rate setting on my Xbox Series X. When that was enabled, there were occasionally some times when I was playing Forza Horizon 5 that it would lose signal, causing my monitor to go black, which of course isn't great. And then it would, try to regain that signal again and kind of flicker a little bit. But once I turned off that variable refresh rate though, it was smooth sailing, even at the 1440, 120 Hz with HDR enabled. And then the only other little glitch or kind of inconvenience is that when I had my PC powered on and already going and everything, and then I turned on my Xbox Series X, the capture card wouldn't pick up this signal, and I wasn't able to switch to the Xbox HDMI input on my monitor to see any signal. So when I unplugged unplugged and replugged the HDMI cord in the input slot on the NZXT Signal, the image returned, and I was able to use the Xbox just fine. So, quick and easy fix, but that is something that you gotta keep in mind. So as far as pricing and competition, there are plenty of other capture cards out there, and some very cheap, affordable ones on Amazon, but the NZXT Signal cards seem to be right in line, price-wise, with the features that they offer. You can get more performance and features with some cards from Elgato, like the 4K60S Plus, which will actually record directly on the external capture card itself without a PC, but you'll also have to pay quite a bit more for that. And Razer's Ripsaw comes in at $160, but tops out at 1080p 60 for capture resolutions. So overall, wrapping up here, capture cards are kind of what you make of them. There are many different uses. They're great for a dual PC streaming setup, capturing console or mobile gameplay, or utilizing a high-end camera that doesn't have USB connectivity. And in my testing with the Xbox Series X to capture gameplay through OBS, the NZXT Signal worked really well. I wish we could bump up that resolution just a little bit and take advantage of the 4K 120 that the Xbox Series X is capable of, but I was still really impressed with the 1440 120 HDR capability and how well that played on the Philips Momentum monitor that I was using for this. NZXT has really been pushing a lot of new releases lately, and so it will definitely be interesting to see what comes next. So stay subscribed. Alright, and that'll do it for our quick look at the NZXT Signal capture cards. Let us know what you think about them down in the comments below. And if you're looking for some other videos to watch, I'll link to the NZXT capsule streaming microphone, as well as our most recent video. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.